NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte urged Ukraine's Western allies to enhance their support towards Kyiv and backed US President Donald Trump's push for increasing the defense budget. Europe's defense budget is currently on average 2%. Rutte agreed with Trump and said there should be much more. Speaking at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, he added that the European defense industry is innovating too slowly and that the focus should be on establishing an industrial base.
It has to be much more. I think Donald Trump is right here that we are spending not enough, and anyway we have to get it into a balance with what the US is spending. But particularly here we have to look out for the industry base. So what our defense industry is producing, and they are not producing enough, but also in terms of innovation, we are too slow in innovating.
The NATO chief also warned that a Russian victory over Ukraine would damage the alliance's credibility and that it could potentially cost trillions to restore. Speaking on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said a minimum of 200,000 troops are required to ensure Ukraine's security in the case of a ceasefire with Russia.
Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico accused opposition of attempting to organize a coup amid escalating demonstrations against his supposed pro-Moscow stance. During his address to the Slovakian parliament, Fico also rejected claims about the country's alleged change of foreign policy orientation and reaffirmed membership of both the European Union and NATO.
Vidíme štruktúru, ktorá chce zneužiť tieto stretnutia a tieto mítingy, predovšetkým na možný stret s bezpečnostnými zložkami štátu, aby ešte viacej sa eskalovalo napätie, aby ešte viac dochádzalo k agresivite.
Fico's comments come as protests continue to erupt in Slovakia over his ties to Russia. These protests started last December after he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Fico has also faced accusations by the country's largest opposition party of trying to take the country out of the EU. Earlier this week, surviving an attempt at a no-confidence vote.
The leader of Germany's Christian Democratic Union, Friedrich Merz, vowed to crack down on illegal immigration if he is elected as chancellor next month. The opposition party leader said he would bar people from entering the country without proper papers and that he would increase deportations. His statement comes just a day after 2 people were killed and 3 injured in an attack in Bavaria.
Ich weigere mich anzuerkennen, dass die Taten von Mannheim, Solingen, Magdeburg und jetzt Aschaffenburg die neue Normalität in Deutschland sein sollen. Das Maß ist endgültig voll. Wir stehen vor dem Scherbenhaufen einer in Deutschland seit 10 Jahren fehlgeleiteten Asyl- und Einwanderungspolitik.
The attack comes at a politically sensitive moment with Germany's national election to be held on February 23rd. Support for Chancellor Olaf Scholz's Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Liberal Free Democrats has declined. Meanwhile, opinion polls show that support has increased for opposition parties Christian Democratic Union and far-right Alternative for Germany.
Should the EU fund hard borders? This is the topic that was at the heart of the debate at the European Parliament on Thursday. The issue has been discussed many times in the past. The EU's Commission position is that it does not provide financial assistance for the construction of barriers or fences, although it can fund border protection capabilities and infrastructure, such as cameras and surveillance systems. With migration back on the agenda due to the hybrid attacks by Russia and Belarus on the European borders and elections in many member states, the debate is back.
I think it would be more than needed to have certain investments coming from the EU side, because it's very expensive. The countries having a border with those aggressive states, they simply overspent their budget protecting other member states. So that's why it should be a sense of solidarity, like in case of accepting refugees.
But for many MEPs, funding fences and walls symbolizes a change in the EU's identity.
We strongly oppose EU financiation for fences in the external borders of the European Union. We understand that there are borders and they are to be protected, but fairly and in a good balance, not only strengthening external borders, but also cooperating fairly with countries in transit of origin, opening up legal pathways, and of course understanding the EU commitment to fundamental rights and human rights, which are also to protect migrants and asylum seekers for that matter.
Many member states, such as Poland, have recently switched opinion and now support the idea of funding barriers. With the change in composition of the European Parliament towards the far right, the decision to approve financing hard borders now seems more likely.
With Donald Trump returning to the US and potentially reigniting geopolitical tensions in the tech sector, how does Huawei Europe plan to navigate these challenges while contributing to Europe's competitiveness in tech and innovation?
Well, obviously, it's already been a rather turbulent period, so I would say we are well prepared, and I think what we would like to do is to kind of be an alternative to Europe in many ways, and of course, obviously continuing what we have been doing for the last 2 decades, contributing to Europe's digitalization, and I think also help Europe to basically prepare for AI, become AI ready. And AI is not just an application layer, it's much more. You need to have the infrastructure from end to end in order to be able to realize the full potential of AI. And I believe, a company like us with such a diversified technology portfolio, we have a lot to contribute with in terms of both knowledge about what it means to be able to compete in AI and how to realize the functionalities and the potential of AI, and also how to be a good partner in the different layers of technology, basically. So that's basically what we would like to continue to do. We've always seen Europe as a strategic market because of its innovative attitude and position, and we believe, with open markets, well-regulated markets, it's possible for us to continue to contribute in a positive way, and that's basically what we will focus on.
That's brilliant. And Kenneth as well, Europe's obviously seeking to enhance its digital sovereignty and technologies. What role can Huawei play in supporting the vision, and how do you address concerns around trust and security in such partnerships?
I think our most important contribution is our competitiveness. By being present in Europe, we will help European companies to maintain competitiveness because they will need to compete against us, and we could be a good partner in different areas, helping them to be competitive as well. So I think that is a real important contribution, because if you're not competitive in a technology industry, you're not going to be sustainable. So that is extremely important. And when it comes to trust and security, obviously dialogue, communication is key, and I think unfortunately, it's been a very narrow discussion around security, cybersecurity and trust. And I believe by more understanding, better knowledge about what technology is really about and how to balance security, competitiveness and also trust in a more healthy and well thought through way, it's possible to actually navigate through this in a more balanced way than we've seen so far. And from what I am listening around in the different panels this week, I somehow get the feeling that people are realizing the importance of having a better and deeper understanding of things to strike more balanced decisions, and I hope Europe will do that as well.
we can love, we love equally, legally. And we can build our family in our own ways, because I believe that every kind of love, every kind of family is as beautiful as it is. And we are now allowed to build our own kind of family with the support of the law.